Hello friends, my name is Theo, and today in this exciting Meissner Media tutorial, we're going to be revisiting the two-strip look. It's a look that I've tried to get for way too long, and I was playing around in Photoshop the other day, and I finally figured out how to do it the right way. I've already made a tutorial on how to do it a kind of cheating way using Photoshop's built-in LUT, but I finally figured out how it actually works, and I'm really excited about it, if you can't tell. So the two-strip look, I first saw it when I was watching The Aviator, and you see it's this sort of thing. And I saw that, I was like, man, that's really cool. I bet that's really easy to recreate, and I can use it all the time. Little did I know, it was going to take me forever to figure out how to do. So if I figured out my own way, it's a little bit different. It's not quite this. It's a little more of what I'm wanting, but it's still a two-strip look. So I'm going to hop into Resolve here. I've already got it open. You can see my finished product here. This is sort of what we're looking at two-strip wise. And so you can see it's got that weird two-strip look, but the skin tones aren't nasty, which is kind of something I was having problems with. I'm going to show you how I address that problem with, these different parallel nodes and stuff. So without further ado, let's get into this. I've duplicated the footage and we've got it right here. As you know, I like to leave the first node empty just because, why not? It's really super dumb and you don't need to do that at all, but it's the way I like to work and it makes me feel better. So we're going to start off by just kind of making this exposed right, because I'm apparently a terrible shooter, and when I shoot stuff, bad things happen, and I'm always under. I'm going to blame the monitor on the Blackmagic Cinema camera. I should be using my histogram more. It's a little bright. Let's scooch this guy down and scooch that down. Let's see this. And that looks fine. Hit Control F to go to the cinema viewer, aka full screen. Bump this saturation up to a point where it looks a little bit more saturated than it should be. We can tone that back down later. So now we've got our primary kind of color correction done. Now we're going to start doing the grading part. So I'm going to Alt-S to create a new node. And this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of the two-strip look. So the way I understand it, it was created by taking two black and white film strips and putting one with the green filter and one with the red filter, and then when you develop them, you added yellow dye or something. I have obviously only really done anything at all inside the digital world, so I don't really get that, but I do get, red, green, and yellow. So here's kind of how we approach that. We go into our Rgb Mixer. You see we've got our red output and our green output and our blue output. So we're going to mess with our blue output, and we're going to take the blue out of that. So you see we've got this yellow now, and color theory, the opposite of blue is yellow. But now to kind of add this back in the weird, cool way, we're going to add green and red back in here, kind of about 50%. Just kind of make that up. Maybe not quite that much. There we go. And now you see, if I pull on our reference again, we've got pretty close already. But now these skin tones are a little bit magenta-y for me. Let's see what they did in the movie. Because there's our, see, their skin tones are fine. They're not super magenta-y. So how are we going to address that? Well, we're going to address that using a parallel node and some secondary color correction. So I'm going to go up to Nodes, add a parallel node, or you can use Alt-P if you're into that. And then in this bottom node, we're going to select just our skin tones here. So you just click with the eyedropper right on the skin tones. You can see you've made a little mask. And I'm just going to unclick saturation first. And what our qualifier window shows is it shows the hue that we're selecting, the saturation that we're selecting, and the luminance that we're selecting. So I'm not going to worry about the saturation at all because I don't care about that. I'm just going to worry about the hue and the luminance. So you see our hue, we've got it in this kind of orangey skin tony area, but it's a little bit narrow, as you can see with our selection there. So I'm going to increase the width. I'm going to move the center just a little bit, be more in the reddy area. I'm going to increase the softness a good bit so it kind of falls off a little better. Just going to keep doing that. So now that's looking all right. Let me unclick Yeah. Gonna move the lows way down for the luminance. You can see we've got Tyler's face coming in here now, some too. We've got a little bit of this tree in there, but that's not bad. So what we're gonna do next is we're going to take the alpha from this and apply it to this. So basically cut out the image here from here so we have our normal skin tones. So I'm gonna drag this little triangle here. This takes the alpha from this node and then bring it into this little input triangle up here, and that brings it up to this node. And now you see we've got it, and it's like not pinky anymore, which is pretty neat. And now we can sort of adjust our softness some more. So bring our low soft and our high soft. And that just kind of shows how our selection falls off. And so now it's a little bit brown. We want to bring some of that magenta-y color back in. So I'm going to kind of narrow our selection down a bit. And squeeze this guy in some. And you can see what happens without this. Our skin tones go purple and nasty and like a Smurf. And now they look like normal skin tones. So that's pretty neat. Let's just kind of go big screen and see how this is looking. Make sure our selection is fine. So again, Control F to go into our cinema viewer. And the skin tones are a little bit yellowy, but that's a problem with our footage. So we'll go back to our primary grade, and we will move our offset just a little bit blue. So I've got that looking good. And I want to kind of, as Jared Poland would say, boomify these plants back here. So we'll do that with another secondary correction. So I'm just going to hit Alt-S after our parallel node and click there again. You see we've got pretty good selection there. I'm just going to make it a little bit softer and deselect saturation and soften up this guy some. It's going to increase the saturation a fair little bit, and maybe even, just to be a little sneaky, increase the gamma. Just kind of brighten it up. Not that much. Just a little bit. And you see that's kind of looking a little bit greener than we want. We want more of this cyan color. So we'll just kind of offset that back. That's sort of what we're wanting. To there. And now we've got a pretty good looking two-strip look. We can just add another node after this to do our final corrections. Maybe up the gamma just a bit. Kind of play with these skin tones. Smidgen. So again, a big part of this is just me shooting it with the wrong white balance. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. Just a little bit. I'll go into here, my curves, and go hue versus saturation. Do yellows, just kind of desaturate them. There we go. Now that's looking good. And let's increase the whole overall saturation again some, just so people know how hard we worked. Hit Alt-F to go up to a slightly bigger viewer. And now we've got our own little Technicolor two-strip look relatively easily. But now we can change whatever part we want inside of here and be happy with it and have, you know, some cool looking nodes. So our clients are really impressed when they see that. They're like, man, we should pay this guy more money because nodes are really complicated looking. So that's about the gist of it. If you enjoyed the tutorial, give it a like, share it with your friends. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike and share it with your friends. If you want to keep up with even more updates, I put links to Meissner Media's social media stuff in the description. Be sure to leave a comment on the video, you know, giving your thoughts, tips, tricks, corrections. If you would do it different, if you got any questions, I'm pretty good about answering them. Once again, I've been Theo with Meissner Media. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.